Okay, I realize it was just this past week. I was talking about 5 myths in self-publishing. So why the heck am I putting out another doom and gloom podcast episode called 5 Problems with Self-Publishing? Well, it's because there was myths and now there's actual problems. And if I don't address these problems a little more head on than some of these myths, it's going to create a complete train wreck. And especially if you're new to self-publishing or if you're a veteran that needs a little bit of a tune-up, you're going to want to make sure you stay tuned to today's podcast. Oh my goodness, can you believe it is episode number 42 of the Self-Publishing with Dale podcast? Man, it feels like just yesterday I started going and really doubling down on the content where I'm specifically recording it over on twitch.tv/self-publish. So if you want to catch these podcast recordings 1 week in advance, you can actually join me live on twitch.tv/self-publish to see exactly what I'm doing. I would love it if you came and joined me. And if you aren't able to do it on the Mondays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guess what? You can actually go and watch it on the videos on demand inside my Twitch library. They're up for a limited time, but either way, you can watch those episodes and catch up and get everything a little bit in advance. Hey, before we get too deep into this podcast and talk about those 5 problems with publishing, I want to kind of talk about today's sponsor. And this was something I said just before I hit the record button. I was talking about KDP. And KDP is a digital publishing platform that covers all your ebook needs. It provides an award-winning ebook creation software, which is KDP Author, to let you create structured ebooks smoothly and export them to many different formats. They also provide ebook hosting and security services to control who receives access to your ebooks. Now that's pretty freaking cool. In case you don't feel like digging into new software and prefer someone else getting his hands dirty, guess what? They also provide miscellaneous ebook services such as ebook consultation, conversion, design, scripting, and publishing. So if you want more details, whether you want to use their ebook software or you want to use their ebook services, visit dalelinks.com/KOTOBE. That's KOTOBEE, dalelinks.com/KOTOBE. All right, let's get right into it. The 5 problems with self-publishing. And this is, if you've been in this business long enough, give me an amen on this one, because I know that someone's probably going to be thinking you're crazy if you're riding on a bus going over to work or something like that, or you're taking a jog in the park and you start yelling amen. But I want you to just humor me on this one. Say amen on each one of these 5 problems, because man, these 5 problems, ooh. So let's go ahead. Let's start it out. And I'm going to save the doozy for last. I'm going to save the one that nobody's saying right now, that no one's bringing attention to. So let's start out with number 1, expenses. Oh man, you could get a trade publish deal, a traditional publisher, and you really don't technically have to worry about anything out of pocket. You don't need to worry about paying for the editing. You don't need to worry about paying for the cover. You don't need to worry about anything else. All you got to do is provide the content. They'll tweak it, you fix it, you send it back. This kind of goes back and forth until finally they publish your manuscript. But that doesn't work that way in the world of self-publishing. You, as a self-publisher, have to saddle all of the risk. You have to assume all of the burden. You have to wear many hats. Some of you, if you don't have the money, you got to have the sweat equity, which means that you're going to have to spend more time and energy and attention into things like creating a book cover design, getting a book launch together, trying to figure everything out, hiring an editor, hiring an interior formatter. Things like that can be costly after a while. And I know there are some exceptions to the rule. There's quite a few of you out there that have managed to publish your books for free, and kudos to you. I don't think it's completely impossible to publish things for free, but to get discovered for free remains to be seen. So that's what's going to be a perfect segue into our very next part right here. And that's going to be number 2, marketing and promotion. Marketing and promotion, yes, it can come free. Oh, absolutely. And I tell you, there's so many avenues that I've shared from time to time, and especially when it comes to things like, getting on YouTube or getting on podcasts or doing library appearances or even in-store appearances and all that type of stuff. All that to say this is those free avenues are fantastic, but at the end of the day, sometimes you need to get a little bit of grease to get those wheels moving, and that requires some money to get some marketing and promotion. Amazon advertising doesn't come free. Running Facebook ads doesn't come free. Doing Google ads doesn't come free. Doing a BookBub promotion doesn't come free. And all those things are expenses, and they're marketing and promotion. And sadly, we need to actually market and promote our stuff in order to be seen, because it's not just enough that you go and you publish your books. There's no neon sign pointed right directly above your head or above your recent publication, that's easy for me to say, that says, hey, come buy me. No, there isn't. You actually have to get out and you have to tell people. And the thing is, it's a never-ending battle. If you think that you're going to take like a week or two off, or a couple months or a couple years off from promoting your book, and think that you're going to be paying the bills, guess what? That ain't going to happen. Sorry. Too bad, so sad. Marketing and promotion needs to be built into your everyday life when it comes to you as a self-publisher. And that's one of the biggest problems is you take a day off from marketing and promotion. It can be very detrimental to your bottom line, of course, the growth of your author platform overall. Number 2, getting reviews. Oh yeah, I haven't talked much about reviews lately, and it's for good reason, because I saw too many people just stressing out about getting reviews on their books, because I actually had some books that have done fairly well with very little to no reviews compared to some of the other competitors have thousands of reviews, which it's far beyond me how they're getting it. Anybody can speculate it, but nonetheless, a lot of people stress about those reviews. And reviews are a good thing to have. It's social proof. It's a way for people to kind of know and make an informed decision on whether they should purchase your book or not. I got to just straight up admit to you that this is me, and I'm probably the exception to the rule. I sometimes don't pay attention to reviews on books. I sometimes have already made my mind up whether I'm going to get the book or not. I'll look at the cover, looks good. I look at the copy, seems okay. I see the price point, looks awesome. I'm going to go ahead and get it. That's just me, but I am the exception to the rule. There are some people that will go right to the reviews. And every now and then, if I've never heard of somebody, I will go to the reviews, and I'll go to the 1-star reviews for, a couple chuckles first thing. And the next thing is just to kind of figure out, okay, what was it that this book wasn't fulfilling someone, that they left a 1-star review, that they felt so inclined to diminish the value of this person's book as to put a 1-star on it. Now, I'll tell you, the times I've ever put a 1-star on any product or service, slim and none. I try to really justify giving someone a 1-star. 1-star means you're so horrible that you should probably consider not doing that ever again. And so getting reviews, it's tough. Used to be able to do something that was called review swaps, which is a quid pro quo system, which means, hey, you go ahead and borrow my book, I'll borrow your book, we're going to go ahead and read each other's books, and then we'll go ahead and post a review. But there were some ne'er-do-wells who took that system and they went ahead and manipulated it, and they hired virtual assistants to put in fake reviews. And I've shared some of this, a little bit of my journey over on YouTube before, but I'll go ahead and give you a Reader's Digest summary. Back in 2015, I got busted for doing review swaps and immediately lost all community privileges through Amazon. So I'm no longer allowed to do any reviews. All of my reviews I had posted, guess what? They were gone. Every single book that I read was for naught, because every one of those reviews were removed. And it was a sad day, but they said that's against terms of service. You're not supposed to be doing review swaps. So I'm going to tell you this. If you're doing review swaps, I don't care who tells you that you should do it for your first book, your worst book, your third book, your mom's book, your dad's book. You should not be doing review swaps, period. It's better that you don't do any kind of review gathering than review swaps altogether. But I think that there are other ways you can do getting reviews. So very first thing I'm going to recommend is build an advanced reader copy team, otherwise called an ARC team. And ARC teams they're starting to come to the forefront. A lot more people are realizing the value in building an ARC team. So that way, first of all, you get to understand before you launch your book what it needs for getting it tweaked. And the next thing is, when that book gets launched, you already have yourself a team of people that can review your book. And guess what? It's still according to terms of service over on Amazon. It's completely okay to have an ARC team. So here's the thing. You're probably saying, well, how do I build an ARC team, Dale? How do I get these people? Now, there are a variety of ways you can do it. There's a few sites you can take a look into. Now, there's something that's called a newsletter swap. Not to be confused with the review swap. Review swap, shady. Newsletter swap, Above board, completely white hat. Newsletter swaps work like this. You build your newsletter following. Okay, you could probably have 6 emails. You can have 6,000 or 600,000. Doesn't matter as long as you're building yourself a nice little email newsletter list. What you can do is reach out to somebody else within your niche and say, hey, if you wouldn't mind, I'll promote your book inside my newsletter. You promote mine. Completely, again, white hat. It's completely allowable. And here's the nice thing is it's going to bring in other people that eventually, of course, are going to hopefully subscribe to your email newsletter. And at that point, you can go ahead and solicit your list for people that would be interested in becoming an ARC team member. And you just pretty much let them know, hey, look, I'll give you an advanced reader copy so long as you can give me advanced feedback as well as a review when it launches. Now, there are a few other ways you can build an ARC team. A couple of sites you can look into. hiddengemsbooks.com is one of them. Let me think here. Booksprout.co is another one. Gosh, I know I'm missing a couple others. What I would recommend is go into the old Google, and you're going to go ahead and Google up Advanced Reader Copy Team website. Now, some of the services do cost, and some of them are free. I would recommend that you just tiptoe, take your time into it. Don't try to do too much all at once. Try one service, really nail it down and move on. If you want a free service for right now, there actually is one that's called Story Origin, and that's spelled Story Origin as you would think, but it's .in at the very end. So storyorg.in. That's easy for me to say. But you can look into that. Evan Gao is actually the founder of that, and actually a good pal of mine, and he's got it free and in beta for right now. So if you want to get access to it, definitely get on it. Now, it's very fiction centric, but it's starting to get a little bit of a nonfiction growth on there. So I would recommend take a look at Story Origin. It'd be worth your time. All right, so let's move forward. Number 3. Number 3 already, didn't I? Number 4. Finding an audience. I know what I'm talking about half the time. Finding an audience. Oh gosh, this is probably one of the biggest problems with self-publishing. I see a lot of authors out there that just want to do it for the craft, that they really believe in themselves and they have an idea and they want to continue to chase that idea down. And they're like, I had this idea. I was sleeping and I woke up and had this fantastic dream and I'm going to turn it into a book. But the biggest problem is, oh man, it just doesn't happen that way sometimes, folks. You can chase after your passion. That's great. That's all well and good. But sometimes passion doesn't pay for the bills. And I commend you if you're the type of person that wants to grind it out until the passion becomes your profits and starts to pay for those bills. But might I recommend that you first of all find the audience. Find out what their problem is. Deliver them that problem. Now, a former guest of my channel was Chris Fox. He actually wrote a book called Right to Market. Highly recommend it. Go check it out. He pretty much discusses that instead of worrying about chasing after your passion, what you should first do is identify the audience and something that is actually drawing a dime, or drawing some money, and study it. Read the books, become fully entrenched in it, understand how it's written, what the audience is looking for, and write to that market. You're going to write that book, and you're going to write a good handful of them, 6 to a dozen of those puppies right there. Get them on in there and get yourself to where you actually have some good footing and you start to build a following before you start to pivot and change to something that you're a bit more passionate about. Because the most important thing you should be doing if you're an author is getting paid for it. Get paid to write. The next important thing is to pivot when the time is right, when you can actually pay for the bills and not have to stress and worry about, oh gosh, am I going to be able to pay for rent? Am I going to be able to put food on the table? Am I going to be able to do this, that, and the other? So think about that. So finding an audience can really be so difficult. And sometimes you're going to hear some people say, this niche is popular, or this niche is popular, or you should try this one, or you should do this one. Listen, you do your studying, find something that resonates with you. You don't have to be super passionate about it. It is definitely a plus if it is. But if you feel that you can study this, and it interests you and you can write to that market, then that's probably going to be the smartest decision you're going to make. I've got a 5th problem I want to share with you here in just a moment. But before we do, I want to give a quick plug here. Of course, join me every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Universal Time Coordinated -5 on YouTube. I actually have a live broadcast every Saturday. It's super fun. And you can actually visit that at dalelinks.com/live, and it'll take you right over to the live broadcast. So you happen to be listening to this right now, do yourself a favor, pause the podcast, go over to that link. You're going to hit the reminder bell so that way you don't miss that live broadcast. You can always watch it on the replay, of course. And the next thing is, of course, if you want to see the actual podcast put together and chit-chat with me, jibber-jab, if you will, you're going to go ahead and join me every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/self-publish. And, of course, you can subscribe for free with your Amazon Prime membership. I show you how to do that at dalelinks.com/Twitch Prime. All right, number one. I've gone through 5 of them. My intent was to count backwards. That's why I said number one. But I see the number one problem is this. We're still in kind of a new age. We're in this age, like people are still exploring it and discovering it. And it's the modern day self-publishing model. But unfortunately, with that modern day self-publishing model comes the stigma that has been attached to it for decades upon decades. Because when people were self-published prior to 2008, maybe even around then, those were the people that, the weird uncle that would, write his own erotica books, and just like buy a pallet of them and put them inside his garage. And like, hey, would you like a copy? I'll sign it for you, kiddo. I don't have an uncle, by the way, that does that. It was always just kind of this sad, look, a lot of people that were involved in self-publishing, but those days are gone. Unfortunately, the vast majority of people out there, if you say I'm a self-published author, they're going to go, oh, yeah, cool. Good luck with that. Whereas if you say, hey, I'm an author, they're like, oh, awesome, that's cool. I always want to write my own book. Blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, you're the bee's knees. But you add self-published to it, for some reason, you kind of get this cockeyed look at you, like you're doing something dirty. Like you're doing something weird, it's still got this stigma. And that's why I started this channel, was not only to get it to where I was teaching people how to sell more books, how to publish their books, how to self-publish in general. I also wanted to build awareness around self-publishing and tell people that it's not what it used to be. It's so much better and more. And there are so many ways that we can overcome this stigma, and overcoming this stigma takes some time and it takes diligence. And you as an author, it behooves you to actually step forward with your best foot, with your best efforts. So no more putting out hammered garbage. Get that edited. No more putting out these cover creator abominations or these Canva covers. Okay, get them professionally done. You want to be successful, you need to do those type of things. And also, if you want to really put out all this negative nonsense, this stigma surrounding self-publishing, you got to start conducting yourself like a traditional publishing house would, like a traditional publisher would treat their author. It's no, you're not going to go ahead and have your cousin's best friend's second cousin's girlfriend made this really fantastic cover for you. And it's complete abomination. No, you're going to get it professionally done. And the next thing is you're going to get some good editing. You're not just going to go ahead and throw it through Grammarly and put it onto the market. That's just hammered garbage. So that is the whole thing that I want to cover. So those 5 problems: expenses, getting reviews, finding an audience, marketing, promotion, of course, overcoming that stigma. Those are problems with self-publishing. And I'm sure that each and every single one of you that are listening to this can understand me and feel me on this situation. Hey, as we start to wrap up today's podcast, I just want to say, hey, if you could do me a huge favor, subscribe or follow me on your preferred podcast platform and leave a review. I won't be reading in reviews today, actually. I'm just short of some reviews. So if you could do me a huge favor, whatever your podcasting platform of your preference, go ahead and leave an honest review for me. All right. I'm not begging you to put a 5-star or commanding you to put a 1-star. I just want you to go ahead and put a review on there with just a quick little blurb about anything you might have learned along the way or some things that you think could be better. I appreciate all open and honest feedback. In the meantime, this has been Self-Publishing with Dale, episode number 42. My gosh, 50 is right around the corner, and I We'll talk to you next week.